And before we head into the Q&A, I think we still have one poll open, JJ.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Art, and thanks for the demo. That looked good. And following the demo, we just wanted to ask all of you in the audience whether you would consider using ClusterControl to monitor MongoDB. And maybe you're using ClusterControl already. In that case, feel free to answer yes as well. So it'd be good to get your feedback here and see see what you thought. And of course, if you have any questions on the content that you just saw, feel free to ask them now also in the question section of your control panel. We have a few minutes now to go through some questions. So I'll give us a few more seconds. Thanks for your participation here. Great. Thanks very much. I'm just going to close this now. And Art, yeah, then I guess we can continue with the presentation.
All right. So, are there any questions, JJ?
So let me see. Not for now from the audience, but feel free. So everyone who's participating, feel free to ask questions now by using the question section of your control panel. If you have any questions for Art. But maybe Art, you can maybe explain a little bit from your own experience. I know you touched on it, but what the main differences are, maybe, or what it would look like to manage MySQL and MongoDB at the same time. And so I know we can do this by using ClusterControl, but maybe you can just talk a little bit from a user experience what it looks like to manage both data stores together. Maybe they're using the same tool, or maybe it needs to be a mix of tools as well.
What I can say from my own experience is that there isn't that much out there to manage and monitor MongoDB separately. So apart from the MongoDB Ops Manager, so the Cloud Manager. So there isn't that much out there except like the few open source tools that I mentioned, which is a bit different than in the MySQL world, where you have a broad variety of tools. And of course, MySQL has been around for 22 years already, so a lot of monitoring tools have by default plugins for MySQL, or you have additional tools to ship metrics. A good example would maybe StatsD. I would have expected to find a lot of StatsD-based solutions that would just grab any metric from MongoDB, ship that to Graphite or Prometheus, for instance. But no such things exist at the moment. There are some smaller tools out there, but they lack a lot of functionality. So they will only fetch, for instance, data from an existing collection. So what a lot of people end up doing is gather all the system metrics, dump that into an existing collection within MongoDB. So the host that you're monitoring, you write to that host its own metrics again into a collection, and then ship that to Graphite or Prometheus. And that's a bit strange, because you would expect that a system that you're going to monitor, you're not going to alter the metrics that you're actually going to watch at the same time. So you're going to create new connections while monitoring. You're going to create new writes to this system while monitoring it. So that's a bit strange. And that's also why I think it's a good thing to see the MongoDB open source world starting to get bigger and bigger at this moment. So more and more tools become available. But that's one part of my experience. The other part would be that it's actually quite similar to MySQL. Of course, the interface is different, the context is different. You have to learn a new command, so it's not SQL based. But in general, the way it functions as a database system is quite similar to MySQL.
That makes sense. Thanks a lot, Art. Thanks for sharing that. And maybe a little bit on that note, there's a question here from Francesco, and he's looking for some good resources for getting started with MongoDB. So if you have any, so I know we have some resources that we make available online, Francesco. But Art, maybe you have some other resources that you can maybe recommend.
It's a good one. Well, the most obvious one would be go to the MongoDB University. You can follow courses online, and those are developer-oriented courses mainly. But that will give you a lot of insight in how MongoDB works. From an operational perspective, there isn't that much. There's a lot of information scattered around the internet. And I think that what we're trying to do with the webinar series and the blog series is to condense all that information into understandable blog post, and hope to give insight in all this. I would say if you're getting started with MongoDB, follow those online courses and come to our blog series on MongoDB.
Yeah, thanks, Art. So Francesco, so the blog series is called Become a MongoDB DBA, and you can find it on severalminds.com in our blog section. So check it out there, and there are some other resources and blogs that have to do with MongoDB there as well. But the Become a MongoDB DBA is a good way to start. So feel free to check it out. And
slides of the audition.
Great, yeah. Perfect, thank you. Yes, so if you check this out, this is some good. There are some good resources and a good way to start with MongoDB, especially if you are more on the MySQL side to start with.
Yeah.
Great, but I think for now that's everything for today. Thanks very much for the participation. Thanks, Art, for the presentation and for the demonstration. As you can see, these are the additional resources that you can go to have more information on how to start or how to use MongoDB. Maybe just something for all of you to know. If you're based in Europe, in October there is a Percona Live conference in Amsterdam, and Percona now cover a lot of MongoDB topics as well. So feel free to register for Percona Live. We will be there too, so you'll be able to meet us there as well. It's in the second week of October, I believe. It's in Amsterdam, and you can still register for that conference. And so it'd be great to meet you there if you're going, of course. But for now, thanks very much for your participation today. We will send or make the replay of the session available to you tomorrow. And then we'll have another webinar at the end of August. But until then, have a good rest of the week, good rest of the day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.